So the next thing that we are going to see is about the test operator or the type test operator. So actually we can test the type of the particular type. So let's say we have integer or a string, so we can test whether it's a type of the string or any other kind of the object. So for that, let us go and create a variable of a int, and this int variable, let's say of a which has a value of 10, and then we'll just create another one as a string and which has let's say a b, and that which has a value of, let's say, any number of 10. And then we'll just go and just see that how we can type test this particular variable. So let's say var, and we just say x1, which is of equals to, we'll just call it as a that we have each, or a as. So first of all, let's make use of as over here, a as the num. So actually we are typecasting over here, so this will be a will be typecasted to the num, right? So as, so we can just say that this one or the int as the num. So we are actually typecasting it over here, right? So it is actually if you try to say it as a string, right? So that will also going to, it's not going to give you a compiler error, but when you run your application, that will be a runtime error. So we have a compile time error and the runtime error, but this is not giving us a compile time error because it's just typecasting it to the string. But when you actually run it, it will get crashed because that cannot be. So string, this is an integer and it cannot be casted as the string. So if I go and run that one, it will give an error. It will say that the int is not a subtype of the type of the string, right? And it is a typecast. So this is not a string. And if I say num over here, that should work. And if I go and run, you can get that it is exited and did not give us any error. So if I go and print out over here, and I'll just print out the variable of x1 over here, right? So if I run this, you will get the 10 printed out because we are casting it as a num over here. So actually the int is coming from the num, so it doesn't have any error when we run. But if you typecast to the another one, like let's say string as string over here, that's not going to work. So if I run, yeah, that gives us an error. So let's say I'm just giving you an example over here of the how we can make use of as. So as, and I just can say and cast it to the another type, right? But in a real world application, we have a different kind of object, and from one object to the another object we try to do it. Or if you are inheriting, then we can say that it has been inherited from the another, then we just try to typecast to the another object. So in the real world it's a bit different, but here I'm just trying to show you how to make use of a as operator, which comes under the type test operator. So the next we will see over here is each. So let's say I'll just make use of a print over here, and I'll just say a that we have each. A is a integer type, int type. So for that, what we will use is let's make use of a string interpolation over here, and we'll just call it as a is int. So if you say a is int, that's going to see whether a is an int or not. So if I run my over here, it says a is an int type true. So which means that a is an integer type, and we are checking it over here whether it is a type of the int. And also I'll just go and print, and let's say that another one is of the string, right? So let's go and say that b, sorry, we have a b each string, right? So b is string. So here we'll make use of a string interpolation again, and then we'll just say b is string. So let's go and run. That should also give us a true. Yeah, b is a string, true, which means that b is a type, b type is of the string. So it's a type is of the string. We can say it's a string, and a is of the int. So we say each, we saw as a as, we saw as a each, and next each we will see about is not. So is not is also there. So I'll just say print, and I'll just say, like, let's say b and is not, right? So is not of the type of the string. So let's say b is not a string. B is not the type of the string. So but b is a string. So that's what. Let us go and test it out over here, and we'll just say b is not, right? So b is not a string. So b is not a string. That will give us a false because b is a string. Just run this one, you get a b is not a string, we get a false because it knows that b is a string. So these are the type test operator that we can use in Dart. And we have as operator, right? And this each and each not. So these are the things that we can actually use to test the type in our Dart programming language.